possibly can. So I am now going to announce our first speaker. We've got the amazing Hitesh Chauhan. I hope I pronounced that right, Hitesh. And he's from the Juice Plus corporate team. So I'm just going to read out his bio. So Hitesh says, I have a science background and spent around 20 years working in R&D and product development. And I work in the global product development team for Juice Plus, and he's going to be talking us through Juice Plus products and why they're exceptional in every way. Hitesh, are you there?
I am. Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Thank you. Yes, we can.
Right. So I'm just going to share my screen if that's okay.
Yep, all ready for you.
So I'm hoping you can see a screen of, hope you can see a slide. Can you see a slide?
Yes, we can.
Great. So first of all, thank you for inviting me. It's always exciting to talk to our partners out in the field, because we spend a lot of time working in the office. I'm based in London, but it's you guys that really bring the business to life. And so what I thought I would do is talk a little bit about the business and what I do, and yeah, talk about why I believe Juice Plus is truly exceptional from a product perspective and also from a business perspective. One thing, let me just going to set up my screen. Perfect. So what do I do? I think, yeah, thank you for the introduction. So I'm Hitesh. I've been at Juice Plus for around, well, since I joined since 2018, and I'm product innovation director. I sit in the London office, but work globally. So work very closely with the teams in Memphis, which is our, where the business all started. Have a PhD in biochemistry. So I actually studied insulin resistance and diabetes, and tried to understand exactly what happens in that process and how you can prevent it. Obviously, as you go through life, you join lots of different organizations. So I ended up working on product development, going from working on personal care, which is about beauty, all the way through foods and pharmaceuticals. So been at Unilever, been at GSK, and people sometimes ask me, what brought you to Juice Plus? What was the reason you joined? And ultimately, I think what it comes down to is the idea that we deliver, which is around inspiring healthy living around the world. And that's the mission of the company. And if I think back to where I started with my PhD working on diabetes, that was really about understanding how to help people live well and live healthily for longer. And so the mission and the energy of the business really resonated with me. When I spoke to Simon and the other, some of the characters that it was just really about the passion around getting that mission out there and delivering the right things for our partners and customers. When we think about that mission, obviously I mentioned that I work in the product development team, and we've taken that company mission and created what I think is the mission and the vision for the product development team. So all of the products that and experience and touch are all built around the idea that we want to remain the world's leader in whole food nutrition. That's the product team mission. And also that our vision is to make sure that no company or product now or in the future has more efficacy, better quality, or more support than Juice Plus. And efficacy ultimately means that the product works. It really does what we say it's going to do. Quality, well, it speaks for itself. And the support is really about making sure you guys as our partners and our customers and consumers really understand how our products work and what they do. When we think about delivering on that mission or that vision, it really requires us to have a lot of skills. And it's not only me that works in the team. We've got our regulatory team, we've got our quality team, we've got the guys in Memphis, the guys in London. We've got a broad team supporting and doing a lot of work. And that translates into some skills. And I think I put here like a number of sort of headlines, and ultimately they all represent different things. So imagining, growing, sourcing, manufacturing, certifying, research, supporting, and analyzing. I just buzzwords, if you like, but behind them is a massive work that goes on. Personally, my favorite is imagining, because what we're doing essentially here is thinking about the future of our product, and we're thinking about the future of the company and the future of the business to understand what is happening in the world out there that we should be aware of from a nutrition perspective, from a technology perspective, and from a product perspective. We want to understand the world out there so that we can pick the best ingredients, so we can pick the best technology, so we can pick the best products to create and develop. Growing and sourcing is actually also a big one when I think about that. So that's about understanding how our farmers operate and how we identify the right ingredients to go into our product. So when I worked at the other businesses I mentioned, often product development started when the things arrived in the lab or the things arrived into the factory. Juice Plus is massively different in the context that we have relationships with the farmers that are planting the seed in the soil, which then goes to the manufacturing site, which then gets built into the product that you take, and that essentially goes on your shelf. So when I think about understanding how important that sourcing is, it's really important because it enables us to look at what we're developing and how we're developing and making sure we're picking the best things, right? Manufacturing is about building the product. Certifying is about external validation, which I think was also important because although we can build the best products and we know we're testing and developing the best products, we also send those products out to be certified and approved and validated independently. So it's not just us saying it, we're getting other people to confirm that that's what we're really doing. Researching is about the science and the technology that goes into it. And supporting and analyzing means that we're supporting you guys from a partner perspective, and analyzing is really about not only testing the products when we're making them, but when they're in market. So we're constantly looking at we've launched products, they're in the market, let's relook at them, let's test them, let's constantly analyze them. So I think that set of kind of skills and competencies really help drive what we do. And the question, I suppose, is what makes our business and products truly exceptional? Along with all of those things, there are some things that we fundamentally think about when we're developing the product and developing the concepts and working with you and working with the business and so on. Our guiding principles are sort of, I feel like, our North Star, our fundamentals that we operate to. And I think we've evolved some of these as the world evolves, but they always have been true to what we do. So we're committed to offering inspiring, we're committed to offering a lifetime of healthy living. Ultimately, what that means is the products you take can be helping you along the life journey at any point. And capsules is a classic example. I think the fundamentals of healthy fruits, vegetables, and berries is a constant at any nutritional level. Our products are plant-based and designed to be as close to nature as possible. That's ultimately about saying that we believe in whole food nutrition. All our products are grounded in science. So it's always about understanding the science and technology. We won't necessarily just pick the latest fad or the latest trend out there because we think it's exciting. We ask the question, is the science there? Is the evidence robust? And then when it is robust, we'll still test it from a clinical point of view, which is, really highly robust way of testing products. Quality, it's a given, right? We just make sure everything is what we believe at the optimum quality. And then we also, as you know, the world is evolving, right? Rapidly, we know that the impact we have on the world and the planet is significant. So we're now and constantly looking for ways to be more sustainable, and how can we be more kinder to the planet that we live in? So that's about understanding our supply chain. And I talk about farm to finished product, but it's about at every level, how do we reduce the impact of the soil? How do we make sure that we're optimizing our watering technologies? So if you're growing lots of crops, you can really manage the watering process and reduce the impact you have. How do we manage the transport? How do we manage the packaging? All of those things will have small but significant impact on what impact we have to the planet. And I think we're becoming more and more aware of our impact globally from everything we do. So that's become quite a critical feature of when we think about product development. We're also working globally. And one of the other things I think is important, that our development partners, when we think about our manufacturing partners and our farmers, they share our values. We work with people that understand Juice Plus. We work with people that understand these values, and that means that we're getting the best kind of collaborations and partnerships. What does that translate into? Some key messages here, I suppose. Juice Plus products or ingredients are always whole food based. They're always going to be vegetarian. They're always non-GMO, and they're low glycemic, which means that you don't get the spikes in high and low drops of sugar. I talked about it being low processed and nutrient dense. So what we mean by that is, instead of taking an extract or individual component, we take the whole thing. So we try to keep the apple in the whole state when we create and develop our products, rather than breaking it down chemically into its one interesting component. And that means you get a much more holistic health benefit from the whole of the ingredient. You know, we use things like acerola cherry and guava and mango for delivering B vitamins rather than isolated ingredients. We also make sure that obviously all our ingredients and products are free from harmful contaminants. And I think that what ultimately a lot of this, the things I talk about today should give you confidence that the products and the science and the technology going into them is really robust and proven. I'm going to pick on just the capsules because I think they're really one of the long-standing components within our portfolio. Juice Plus vegetable, berry and fruit capsules have been around for over 30 years. They've been around for a very, very long time. And I believe, you know, it's a market leader in terms of whole food nutrition. It contains a blend of 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berry powders. But not only that, it's the plus element. What's the plus element? It's ultimately that when you take those whole food ingredients, you get all the components of the fruits, veg, and berries. So a good example is beta carotene, which is present in there because we're taking all of the nutrients and we're making sure everything's there. We're adding what's required. Beta carotene helps convert helps the body convert into vitamin A. We've got lutein in there, which helps support healthy vision. We've got a load of antioxidants, polyphenols, bioflavonoids, all sorts of ingredients that form part of that plus, which ultimately have a massive effect, like what we describe as an orchestra effect. Some of these components are really difficult to break down when you think of science, because when you eat a whole food, you're getting a mix of fiber, you're getting all the components that go in there. And by doing that, you're getting what I believe is the mix of everything. And that's the plus, that's the benefit. The research, we've got over 40 published papers, clinical research, which is all externally validated. And what that means is when we test these products, we test them independently. Sometimes we describe them as placebo blind studies. Sometimes we don't even know who's taking what, because that allows for independence. That allows for people to take the products without knowing what they're taking, and there's no bias in there. That when we look at the data, it shows that our products are really effective and working. I've already touched upon best fruits and vegetables, but even our capsule, we look at the capsule and make sure that's vegan. And our best fruits and vegetables also means that we quick freeze and lock nutrition in. What that means is, I already touched upon the fact that we work with our farmers. When you go to pick a fruit or a vegetable or a component from the farm, it then is quickly frozen in order to pack nutrient density in. The best example I often use is when you go to Sainsbury's or Tesco's and you buy your veggies or you buy your fruit, you bought that and you bring it home and it probably sits on your kitchen counter or on your fridge a week, maybe longer. Maybe you're really good and you eat those vegetables straight away. But what's happening in that time is there's some sort of slow degradation. And if you leave it long enough, it will go moldy, it will go off. If you freeze that at the moment it's picked, very, very quickly and rapidly, you're actually protecting all of those nutrient density ingredients. You're protecting the vitamins, you're protecting the minerals, you're protecting the flavonoids and all the polyphenols, all those complex ingredients. We then use them at the right time. So we've got massive nutrient density in there. I touched upon world-class supply because basically that means that we're doing all of those things. And I think I think the kind of proof of the pudding is we've been around for a very long time, 30 years of product excellence, product safety, and customer satisfaction. I think that resonates really well with everyone. You know the range. I'm not going to go into detail of all of these, but we've got the capsules from a fruit, veg, and berry. The chewables, we've got the shakes, the meal replacement products, the bars. We've got Uplift, we've got Tower Garden, which more and more people are now seeing. So I think we've got a range of products here that are truly well researched, a strong brand name, and products for all points of life and all points of the journey that you go on. I can see myself enjoying these products for a very long time because they're so universal. Three big messages I think that we can take away. All of our products are designed to offer long-term health benefits, especially when we think about those capsules. We've got a narrow, focused product line, partly because I think we're doing so much work to constantly understand, review, and update those products and deliver against them. Whole food, plant-based, minimally processed nutrition. And those three messages are really clear, and I think a great take home and a great way to share what we do as a business, and talk to partners and customers about. Quickly talk about how we come up with new products. When we think about developing new products, I sometimes try to think about, some people ask me, hey, what do you do for a living? And I say product development. And it's often quite difficult to explain what that means. But when you look outside in the world, when Apple launch a new product, when they launch a new iPhone, or they launch the new earbuds or headphones or something like that, they've essentially developed that product. They started in the lab and they created it, they tested it, and they brought it to market and they sold it. In many ways, we are doing that in the world of nutrition and product development for healthy living. And that all comes and starts with this slide here. And I think it's in some ways it's a complicated slide. In some ways it's a very simple slide, because we're trying to break down a 2-year process or 2.5-year process into one slide. And I think there are some key things. One thing we always do is ideation. That's about looking outside in the world and saying, what are the big ideas? What are the things that we think are interesting? And they can come from anywhere. Ideas can come from our farmers, our ingredient manufacturers. It can come from you guys as partners who think, hey, I've been talking to customers and I really hear people asking for this, or I've seen this from other people doing an interesting job. What do you guys think? All of those ideas come into the mix, and we think about those and we talk about those, and we have the internal discussions, and we call that sort of a strategy council. We discuss, we review, we look at what's realistic, what's that initial idea look like, and then we go into developing a formulation. That formulation goes into initial testing. By the way, that could take a year's worth of work there. We then do more testing, regulatory checks, stability checks, manufacturing checks, before we even go into producing, say, the first round in the factory. And that's a small scale development. We then prove, test, we test it from a tasting perspective, from a functionality perspective. Does it work? Does it really do what we said what the idea was? And then we build that out, develop the packaging. And then when we do that, we look at all markets and countries and say, is this going to work in those markets? And then we do more testing. We then test from a clinical perspective. We then test with customers and consumers and say, what do you guys think? Does it work? Does it taste as good as we thought it was going to taste? All of those things happen, and all of those things I'm trying to capture in one slide here to really show you there's lots of work that goes on before we bring it to market, and then we launch it. And so in this slide, I've captured probably a massive work, not only from a product team, by the way. This is working with the sales guys. This is working with with Simon, who engages with you guys and informs you about our products, working with Sue, working with quality, working with regulatory, working with all those cross-functional teams to make sure that we're doing the right thing. I think what I wanted to do is not take up too much time. I probably have already overrun, but give you a few key take-home messages. Juice Plus has very specific product requirements for what we do in terms of developing them, and then creating and picking the ingredients. And that's built around our guiding principles for products and services. We're committed to safety, we're committed to quality, and we're committed to efficacy. Ultimately, does the product do what we think it's going to do? And we prove that externally through clinical studies. We then also test that with third parties. And external testing is about validation. It's about saying, giving the product to someone else and saying, can you test it for making sure the quality that we built into the product is there, to making sure that there's no harmful contaminants, that there's no, we test from a GMO perspective, we test all those things, and that's done externally. So when you see the label and you see the product, you can trust it's there. Harmful contaminants are never present in the product. And so when I think about all of those things I've touched upon, the way we develop, the farmers, the engagement we have, the ingredients we choose, our product philosophy, I feel you can be really, you can trust that the products are truly exceptional. They're built with all those things in mind, and you can take them with confidence, and you can talk about them with confidence. I think that was my last slide, so I will stop sharing there. But hopefully what I did was give you a sort of an overview of what we're doing, an overview of what we're developing, and some of the work that goes in there, if that's okay.
Oh, Hitesh, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. It was so informative. I've literally been sitting here taking loads of notes. I particularly love all of the information about the capsules. I don't think you can ever hear it too many times because you learn something new every single time. So thank you so much. I know a lot of people are giving you loads of love in the comments saying how amazing you were. We really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
No, thank you for asking me, and always happy to talk, and please reach out anytime.
Thank you so
Thanks, everyone.
much. Appreciate it. So guys, who's having a good morning so far? I'm really excited. I love our Saturday coffee mornings, and we have got an incredible speaker up next who is the absolutely gorgeous Claire Black. Claire is 38 and she's an international marketing director from Surrey. She is a mum / stepmum of 4, soon to be 5. Huge congratulations, Claire. She joined in 2014 and hasn't looked back since. And the Juice Plus business has enabled her to leave the 9 to 5 and be a stay-at-home mum full-time since 2015. Everyone's going crazy for you, Claire. And she is going to be talking to us about building your customer base by building communities.
Oh, thank you so much. What a lovely introduction. And I just have to do a little disclaimer because this is like my first proper PowerPoint presentation in like 7.5 years, and it is nothing like Hitesh's. Mine's really basic, so please bear with me. I'm going to share the screen. Let's hope that this comes on. Here we go. We are in. Amazing. So let me get the... Can you guys see that okay? Brill. Okay, so I'm really excited to share this with you actually, because I feel like this is the little bit of a trick that people sometimes miss when it comes to getting customers. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, I find it really difficult to find people. Actually, I've been doing this for quite a few years now, and it's just a really simple thing that makes our job a lot easier. So this is building your customer base by building community. So let's start by looking at what we do. So what is our title? What is our job role? So we are network marketers. So we network and make friends with people who in turn will then see the products that we market. So our job is to onboard as many as we can into new customers and team members every single month. And we do that by getting the audience to know us, like us and trust us. So when we start our business, we usually, most of us just use the audience that we have. So that'll be our friends and our family. So often a lot of those people will order just to support us, but that will soon run out, okay? So the hot market is great, which is what your friends and family are, but what happens when you've exhausted that market? So if you don't start building a new audience, you're going to get really disheartened, because once those orders stop falling in, you are going to fall into the trap of, there's nobody to buy from, I'm rubbish at this, I can't do this, when in fact, there's actually billions of potentials on social media. You just need to find them. So why is my slide not working? There we go. So building an audience of people you don't actually know is extremely important, as we know, but I actually found it really, really cringy adding people that I didn't know on social media. Honestly, I used to get so scared, and I used to think, oh my God, I don't want to send these friend requests. But actually, when I started to think about, instead of going from, you know, who can I sell to, what can I get from this person, I started changing my mindset to, will I connect with this person? You know, how can I help them? So when I first started adding people with the intention of what can I get out of them, I found I had this Facebook full of people who were accepting my friend requests, but nobody was liking what I was posting. Nobody was interacting with me. Nobody was messaging me for products. And that left me feeling, again, I'm really rubbish at this. There's no one's going to buy from me. And the reason is because we had nothing in common. So if we get back to what I said at the beginning, our job role here is to network with people, but it's really hard to network and make friends with people that you've got absolutely nothing in common with. So this is where I found building communities comes in. So building little hubs with people with similar interests to me have been an absolute game changer. And it just started looking at by who I was as a person, what I enjoyed doing, and I just decided to build a few little communities around my common interests. So I'm going to give you a brief on the communities that I've done, give you a little bit of an idea, and then I'm going to follow up with some tips on how you can build communities around what you're interested in. So group number 1, so this was my recipe hub, which actually is kind of related to Juice Plus because it's clean eating, but I don't post anything to do with sales or direct product posts. So this was a really easy group to start with. So if you don't have a recipe group, I would absolutely really recommend it. obviously connected to what we do because we're inspiring healthy living, and it just ties in really, really well. So you're bringing extra free value to people, with the hope that they might in turn turn into a customer. So I found that people really love food and they're always looking for inspiration. So you guys should already be sharing your food posts on your social media. So all I did was, if you just have a little look at the slide, I don't know if you can see them clear enough, but at the bottom of each of my food posts, I always add in about having a free clean eating group, and let me know if you want to join, or I'll pop the group down. And it's really easy to build it up. So another thing I do with this group, which I found really useful, is when people do inquire with me about the products, if they decide that it's not for them right now, I use this group as like a holding pen. So I say, oh, you know, that's absolutely fine, but I do have a free clean eating group. If you want to go in there, so you can kickstart your health journey without starting any products. And then you can kind of just carry on like doing the clean eating. And then later down the line, I've got that little holding pen of people I know who are interested in getting healthy or who have potentially messaged about the products. So with that group, all I do is just share my food posts, funny memes, and recipes, and that's really it. It's really easy. So the next group I did was, I created this with my sideline buddy Georgina McCormack, actually. So 5 years ago when I was pregnant, we both had really rubbish experiences in some mum forums, so we decided to create our own group. And you're probably thinking, what the hell has this got to do with Juice Plus? How can this bring in customers for me? But what we did was we just created a group where there were lots of like-minded women, and as you can see, it grew really, really quickly. So initially setting the group up, we were quite hands-on, creating posts and asking questions, but it organically grew really quick because we were this tribe of women who were just mumming life and kind of winging things. But because we all had that common interest and that common ground of having children or being pregnant, we were able to create really easy relationships offline at the same time. So we were able to relate with them. And the group grew really quickly again because we had such, everyone had that common interest. People were adding their friends and family in really, really quickly. And even now, like this is 5 years ago, the group, every single day I'm getting friend requests for people to go in the group. And we could go weeks and weeks and weeks without posting anything. The group really runs itself. So that's another amazing group. And then the next group, which is actually my favourite one, is my fitness but not fitness group. So 2 years ago, I decided I needed to exercise and work out. And unlike a lot of Juice Plus people, I get very gym intimidated. I know there's lots of gym bunnies in this industry, but this is definitely not me. So I decided to blog my own journey doing Couch to 5K on my profile. But what happened was I started to get a lot of questions, comments on my post saying, I hate the gym, but I need motivation to work out. And I just thought, do you know what? There's so many of us. I'm going to create a little group for it. And again, just like the mums group, this group really runs itself. I wake up in the morning, people have been posting, and it's like I found this little tribe of people that are my people, but we all spur each other on. So we're getting that exercise, and I've just created the bestest friends in there. So it's brilliant. So that's just a few examples of my current groups that I've created over the last 7.5 years. But let me tell you, I have created tons of groups and some of them have died a real death. So you have to practice at this. You have to find your niche. I think that is where the magic happens, is when you really get to grips with who you are. So how do you actually find people to go in these groups, and more importantly, how do you turn them into clients or teamies? So when I create my groups, I start by brainstorming the mission behind the group. So what is the sole purpose of the group? What value can I give? Who can I help? Once I have that, I then write a bio about the group. So what to expect, what's going to be in it, the reason I created it, what sort of person it would suit. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm happy to share the slides afterwards because you can get the bio and kind of tweak it to do your own. But what I do is, I guess it's a little bit like a dating profile. So kind of getting people, like selling myself to people, say, come into my group, you're going to love it. And I keep it really real. And then what I do is I post it on all the local village community groups. I'm sure you guys are all in these groups. Like we've got lots of little villages around where I live, and they've all got their own social media groups. And I invite strangers to it. So I know it sounds really nuts and really nerve-wracking, but actually it really works. But the only reason it works is because I solely only post about what I'm advertising for. There is no Juice Plus post ever in any of these groups. And I also do make a disclaimer when people join my group. You will see from my profile, I do Juice Plus, but I can promise you absolutely there are no network marketing, there's no direct sales, nothing comes in this group. So I always make that really, really clear. So I also don't attach the link to the group on the post. So when people join, you can see down the bottom of the screenshot there, it says, so if it sounds like something you'd like to be a part of, please drop a comment and I'll send you the link to join us. This allows me to get into people's inboxes and start those conversations and send those friend requests, because if they want to join the group, I then add them as a friend and then I add them in. So all that's left to do really then is just the networking, which is really easy because you now have that common interest in the group that you created. So once people start coming into the group, I start what I call a location ladder. So I'll ask people to comment with where they're from, tell us a bit about themselves. And then the first few days of the group, I'll do quite a lot of interactive posts, asking loads of questions, and in particular questions that I know people are going to answer. Like the mums group, I might just say, tell me about your children, how old are your kids, how old were you when you had your kids? And people love to talk about themselves. So I make them very orientated about the person that's in that group. And then as soon as people start replying, I will then like, reply, comment, like, reply, comment, and I'll start lots of little mini conversations of all these posts. And then once we've exchanged 3 to 4 comments, I'll pop them a friend request. So the chances are when you've had a really good conversation with somebody and it's fresh in their mind, you whack them a friend request afterwards, they're going to remember you. They normally accept without even questioning it. And then all that's left to do is for them to see your Juice Plus post on your profile. So I absolutely never direct anybody, never message anybody directly about our products. And I always get them messaging off the back of my posts. And I really feel like that's because I've taken the time to get to know them in these groups. We've got our common interests. It's been really easy to build up. So we've built up that genuine rapport. So they feel completely comfortable to inquire with me. So much easier to share what we do when people can see that you're a genuine person and you're not just a robot. Creating groups is so fun, and honestly it's like as soon as I start creating a group, I'm like, this is like my baby and I want to get to work on it. And you put so much effort, so much passion into it, and people can really feel that. And I think that's where the magic is, because people realize that you're actually genuinely interested in creating a community for them that they're going to enjoy. So it's really easy to post about your passions. It's really easy to show your authentic side and get it seen by the right people. Interaction is really easy because we've all done groups where nobody interacts and it's like, oh my god, the tumbleweed is coming past. But when you've got a group that you're interested in and these people are interested in, everyone's interacting, and it's so easy because everyone loves what you're talking about. So that makes it easy on both sides, and building relationships become fun and easy, and adding value is free and it always comes back to you. So really think about that when you're doing your group. So few ideas to think about when brainstorming for your new group. So what I would suggest is really think about who you are. So for example, I'm a mum, I'm a stepmom, I'm like really into my spiritual side. So ask yourself, are you a mum? Are you a dad, a grandparent, a student? Maybe you're a fur mum. Write down your interests and your core values. What do you want to bring to people? What gets you passionate? What are your hobbies? Do you have any quirky interests? And you could maybe do groups about animals, fitness, food, mum and dad forum, fan groups, the traveling group forum. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. So once you have your group, just go with it and have fun with it. Like, you will be building an army of new friends. And I think this is the real important thing. Like, we are here to make friends with people, and then everything follows on from that. So once people know you, like you, and trust you, and you've got that friendship built, they will then come to you. And even if they don't initially, I promise you, you'll be getting referrals and tags from friends and family who are looking to get healthy as well. So things to remember once you've got your group, okay? So always ask questions frequently, especially ones that you know are going to get lots of replies. Comment, reply, like the comments and reply on all the posts, and start lots of little mini conversations off the back of those. Encourage people in your group to invite friends with similar interests in. So I do that maybe kind of once a month. And then share your group bio every few months, like encouraging people to join in your local community groups. I think the Sweaty Coconuts one that I did for the fitness group, I probably shared it 3 times in the first few months, and it grew to about 300 people really quickly. So you can build it really quickly if you're consistently sharing it into other groups. And then finally, don't give up on your group before it's even started. You have to treat it like your baby and nurture it. It is honestly one of the key things, I think, in building relationships with people. And it makes it easier working with people that like what you do, and it doesn't feel like work. And there is that old saying, you know, when you love what you do, you'll never work another day again. And working on communities and building my groups have been one of the funnest things that have come out of me in the 7.5 years I've been in the business, and I've made the bestest friends. So make sure you do it consistently, do it well, and like do it with everything you've got. So this is a perfect opportunity to showcase like you and your authentic side. So I promise you, if you give it your all, you will attract the right people to you. So go and find your tribe. I hope that has been helpful for you. I hope I haven't gone over or I've not been too long on my time.
Claire, that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Like, just
welcome.
Huge golden nuggets there. I mean, we all make that mistake, don't we? We just quite, you know, kind of like robots. We go in to start sending our friend requests and then wonder why we're not getting anything back. But it just makes perfect sense that you just have to find your niche and your tribe. And absolute fantastic value. Thank you so much. And I absolutely loved your PowerPoint. Absolutely amazing.
Child yesterday doing it, I was like, this is not going to be good enough, but yeah, it worked.
Absolutely amazing, and huge congratulations to you as well.
Okay.
Exciting. So I'm going to now pass over to our another gorgeous girl. We've got her back again. We're lucky. We've got Sara back, and Sara's an NMD in the business. She's been in the business for 4.5 years, and she works her business around her 2 gorgeous children. And she's going to talk to us today about perfecting your DMO to end the year on a high. Are you there, Sara?
I sure am. Thank you very much. They are gorgeous kids and they're also crazy kids. So hopefully they leave us in peace for 15 minutes. So yes, thank you for the introduction, Paula. And today I am going to be talking to you about how to perfect your DMO and to end the year on a high. So firstly, just want to say a huge thank you to James, because these calls are absolutely amazing and they're full of content and we're really, really loving them. So drop loads of love in the comments for James, who's arranging these calls for us every single month. We really, really appreciate it. I absolutely love them. So a couple of questions to get us started. Who feels like this year, 2021, has been a little bit of a struggle business-wise? Be honest, okay? You can pop it in the comments. And whose business has taken a bit of a dip this year? Again, be honest, pop it in the comments. Mine definitely has this year. Now, 2020 was a huge, huge year for us. Who hit a promotion in 2020? I think lots of people did, didn't they? If you watched Tamilla's page in 2020, every single month, it was like, you just could not keep up, could you? Which was absolutely amazing, of course. And we had this massive, massive growth, insane promotions. My business quadrupled. So yeah, absolutely amazing. But in my opinion, growth like that is unsustainable. It's inevitable that after having this massive, massive boom, when it's just going like this and it's just skyrocketing, that there's going to be a bit of a dip. In the words of Jim Rohn, after recession comes, sorry, ignore me. That was for a little bit later. But you know, once you have a dip, once you have a boom, there's going to be a dip, and it is inevitable. And I did just want to touch on that today, to highlight the fact that if your business has taken a dip this year, which, as I said, mine has, it is not you. You haven't done anything wrong. It's natural. It's going to happen, and you just have to stick it out. All businesses have ups and downs, and ours is no different. And you have to be able to take the rough with the smooth and just suck it up, really, and dig deep when you feel like the times are a little bit hard. But there is good news. After a boom might come a bit of a dip, but what comes after a dip? A boom. And that is what's going to be coming our way in the next few months. So who's excited about that? Who's going to be ready when it all takes off again? Because I certainly am. And that's going to be coming for us in the next 3 to 6 months. You just have to stay consistent and you have to believe in yourself. Now, this is just my opinion, you know, the next 3 months, you might feel like they are a little bit of a struggle. We have got winter coming, we have got Christmas coming, and you might might at times feel like you were putting in a lot of work, you know, really putting them hours in, you're staying consistent, maybe you're up early, you're sticking to your DMO, and you might feel like you're not getting much back business wise. Not for everybody, but this could happen in the next few months. And you just have to remember that the day you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. And it's really easy to stay consistent when your business is flying, isn't it? You know, when you're hitting promotions, your team are smashing it, your pay line's going up, the orders are coming in. You want to wake up every single day and get to work. You fly out of bed like, let me quickly get on it. You know, it's absolutely amazing. It's not so easy when you're not seeing those results, is it? And this is where some people will take their foot off the pedal. Who's guilty of that? But to be honest, I think that is a huge, huge mistake. And there are two types of people when business slows down slightly. So type 1, they might think, oh, it's slow, we're coming up to Christmas, it might be a little bit quieter, so I'm just going to slow down a little bit, I'll just relax a little bit for the next few months. Or there's the second type of people, and they might say, oh, you know, it might be slower for the next few months, so do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to work harder, I'm going to really dig deep, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to give it 110% to make sure I am getting those results in the next 3 months. What type of person are you? Pop it in the comments and be honest. You might be a type 1, you might like to relax, or you might be the type of person that says, do you know what, I really need to knuckle down now to make sure my business absolutely booms in the next few months. So the new year is just around the corner. It's, you know, not less than 90 days away, and I can promise you that the people who dig deep now and they knuckle down and they stay consistent and they show up every single day no matter what, they're going to be the people that are going to be smashing those big promotions in the new year. You know, SSC, QNMD, NMD, PMD in January, February, March. So what promotion are you going for in January? Pop it in the comments and even say, I am SSC, I am NMD. What is it that you're going to be going for in January? Put it out there to us and put it out there to the universe. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. Now, are you willing to go to work for the next 90 days to make it happen? Are you willing? Are you ready to really put that work in? If you hit that big promotion in January, just for a little bit of extra, you know, incentive motivation. So if you hit that big promotion in January and you reconfirm for the next 3 months, that means that that big bonus will be going to your account in April. So who wants a bit of that in their life? And for any mums out there, obviously April's also the Easter holiday, so that would be nice Easter holiday. And what I want you to do is to attach that bonus, whatever it is. And I think it's Hayley McLaughlin that says this. You know, she'd attach a bonus to every, like, to something that she wanted to do or to achieve in her life, whether it was a wedding, a holiday, a car, or something like that. So really visualize yourself achieving that every single day and know your why, because your why is what's going to make your why stronger than every single so make it something that's going to make you want to jump out of bed in the morning. Now, life happens, okay? Life happens to us all. I used to actually just think it was me. Every month I'd be like, why does this always happen to me? My kids are crazy. The boiler's broke, the car's this. You know, I honestly used to think everything happens to me. And then you realise, actually, everything happens to everyone. And we're always going through something. You know, that I love that quote. You're either heading towards a storm, going through a storm, or just coming out of one. Like, there's always going to be something that gets in your way. You have to be resilient and you have to show up regardless, because that is when you're going to see really, really good results in your business. So the main thing for me to make sure that I do at the beginning of every single month, and I don't think I've done this for a really long time, but I started this probably maybe January last year, which is where my business really started to steady out and really started to grow. Every single month, ideally before the first of the month, so that you're ready to go, you have to write down very specific goals for the coming month. And you also have to write down your DMO for the coming month. So who has set their goals for this month? Anyone? I actually done this on a call with my team last night. It doesn't matter if you haven't. Well done, Santa. You're a superstar. Yes, love it, love it, love it. So your goals can be business, health, financial, family, you know, and then obviously on the business side of things, really sort of go into detail. How many orders do you want to get? How many new team members do you want to get? How many promotions within your team? Who's going for a promotion in your team? How many clubs? What do you want your pay line to be? Like, really set yourself up for success. Otherwise you just sort of go through the month like, oh yeah, you know, sort of you really want to know exactly what it is that you are aiming for. So me personally, you can't see it, but I've got a mega big, well, I've actually got 2 big whiteboards here up on the wall. I've taken over the whole house with Juice Plus. And on one of those, I will literally write on there, you know, sales coordinator, senior partner, partner plus, QSSC, and I will have a list of anyone who's going for that promotion. And I'll write next to it, obviously I can keep track of what they need throughout the month. I can see who's getting really close, make sure I'm working really well with them. And I also do the same thing for my clubs. And then I have a section on there as well that says new team members. And for me, I will literally write down the people that I've really been getting to know well, that I really want on my team, that are maybe on the verge of joining my team. So I've got their names there. They're on my hot list. They're one of the first things I see as soon as I wake up. So I can go and pester them. I'm joking. Don't actually pester them, maybe a little bit. And I also have the same, but quite similar, on a spreadsheet on my computer. And it's one of the first things I do when I wake up every morning is I run my reports, and using my reports, I go and update my spreadsheets. And then obviously you can sort them to see, you know, who's closest to their promotions and stuff like that. So I do that every single morning, and just that little bit of organisation every single day really shows me, you know, how I'm doing, if I'm on track, where I need to focus. So as well as doing your goals for the month, you should also, especially now as we're into the last 90 days of the year, you should also be doing your 3-month goals. What do you want to achieve by December? I'm sort of laughing because I'm not sure if anyone's really big on like New Year's resolutions. I know some people are like, no way, because, you know, some people just feel like they're pointless. But for me, I always set myself a goal at the beginning of the year. You know, what do I want to achieve this year? And it's not necessarily just business wise. For me, it might be that, you know, I want to be healthier, I want to be fitter, I want to be stronger, I want to be more consistent, I want to be a good leader, I want to be a great mum, you know, like, so cheesy, isn't it? But those are the things that I might say that are my goals for the year. So really start thinking about, am I on track for those things, and how do I want to end this year? Do you want to finish 2021 and think, oh, like, I wish I'd done better with this or better with that? Or do you want to finish the year and say, do you know what, I absolutely smashed it, I'm really proud of everything that I achieved this year? So make sure you write down what you want to achieve by the end of the year and how you want to go out of 2021. So one of my biggest focuses right now is working on myself. Here's the Jim Rohn quote. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business. And he also said with that quote is that he wished someone told him that sooner. And I absolutely love that, because, you know, how many people on this call can say that when you honestly are living the health mission, you're on plan, maybe you're exercising, you're making sure you take your capsules, you're doing your self-development every day, watching those motivational videos, what happens in your business? For me, 1,000,000%, when I'm feeling good and I'm on it, my business is absolutely flying. And we all know that, but it's just that sometimes we don't really put it into practice. So my goal right now is to spend the next 3 months, obviously, but staying really consistent, but also really focusing on myself physically and mentally, and making sure that I end the year strong, but also, and again, I touched on this with my team yesterday. Some of you probably know that I'm big on transformation pictures. I share about 40 a day. But I want to, on the 1st of January, be dropping a brand new transformation picture. Everyone's going to be feeling a little bit bloated with too many turkey sandwiches coming to January. And you literally, or me personally, it's not about weight loss or anything like that. It's really about strength building and just looking and feeling amazing and being a big product of the product. much. So that's what I'm working towards now, and you're going to drop that on the 1st of January, and everyone who's ready to start their health journey is going to be messaging you saying, oh my God, you look incredible, sign me up. So really, really think about that in the coming 3 months. And that's when your business is really going to take off. And obviously you're going to coincide you and your consistency and your health goals with the new year. Boom. So let's all get to work and show up as the best version of ourselves every single day, and the rest will flow. And again, it's something that I say to my team: when you work on you and you're feeling good and you're starting your day right, everything else is just going to fall into place. So the next thing to do once you have set your goals for the month and also for the next 3 months is to set your DMO. Make sure you have done this. As I said, ideally you want to do it before the 1st of the month. If you haven't, do it today. I'll be really bossy. Do your goals and do your DMO today. Now, I've got one of my team, Kirsty, who is an absolute superstar. And if you know me, you'll know that I'm quite a fan of a laminated DMO, like something like that. It's where I can cross it off every day and then wipe it clean. But Kirsty is now using something very similar. Hers is much better than mine, but very similar to this. I am in love with it. She showed me when we went to an event the other day. And obviously here you've got your DMO down one side, and then, you know, whatever, you've maybe got 2 weeks of lines here. And what that means, which I really love, is that you can look back after the end of a week or 2 and see, oh, right, I've done really well with this, but I've really slacked in this area. So I think this is absolute gold dust. You know, Kirsty made a great point that when we're using our laminated DMOs, we're just wiping it clean. We're not making any record of it. We don't know, you know, what we were doing when our business was really skyrocketing. So this, for me, I think is absolutely amazing. So if you haven't already set your DMO, do that. Yeah, exactly. Great idea. Do that. And make sure you are setting yourself up for a really, really good month. Kirsty does hers with all like little nice little gems and squares that looks really pretty. I think mine looks like a school register, but it still works. So to wrap it up, who wants that big promotion in January? Me, definitely me, International Marketing Director. Now, who's actually ready and willing to put the work in every single day, no matter what? Like I said, you might find the next 3 months a little bit of a challenge. You might find them a bit of a struggle. You know, there's going to be the Christmas parties. That's really premature, isn't it? It's still not 3 months away. You know, there's going to be all these lovely events and stuff coming up. There's going to be lots of temptations. And I'm not saying don't go and enjoy yourself. I'm just saying have a goal and have that big picture in your mind. Know your why, set your DMO, set your goals. My vision board's right up here in front of me. If you don't have yours, make sure that you do, and just get to work and make it happen. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. Don't look left, don't look right, don't blame your upline, don't blame your downlines, your sidelines. Just look in the mirror, focus on yourself and get it done. So that's a wrap from me. I do have a guest speaker today who is our lovely Kirsty, who is the DMO queen, and she's just going to tell us a little bit about her journey so far. If you're wrong, Kirsty, you just need to unmute yourself.
Hi everyone. So my journey started in 2016. I suffered with horrendous hair loss. I was always one of those girls that were always dyeing hair every other week, having a different hair colour every other week, and it finally took its toll and I lost all of my hair. And so I come across the products on Facebook, as you do, and I started on the berry capsules to get kick-started with. But at the same time, my son was also a really, he suffered from eczema from birth. So I got kick-started on the berry capsules and he got kick-started on the berry chews. And before starting the products, I was actually stuck in hair extensions for 3 years because obviously my hair was so short. My hair wasn't actually hiding the hair extensions. So no matter what weather it was, I was always hiding in a hat because it really knocked my confidence to 6. So we got kick-started on the products. I got kick-started in the berry capsules. My son got kick-started on the berry chews. And within 3 weeks of being on the products, we just see amazing transformation. My hair went from here to here within 3 weeks, and I was just literally like gobsmacked. And my son's skin completely cleared up. So we then upgraded our plan and got kickstarted on the healthy starts for families, and our journeys just literally went from strength to strength. So my hair completely repaired in 6 months' time, and my son's skin completely cleared up. And we've just been a lover of the products ever since. We've been on the products now for 5 years now. I've seen so many more benefits from the products as well, like longer nails, more energy. My son's now been eczema free for the past 4 years now. He's only actually had one breakout, which was obviously due to lockdown, because we had high demand with the chewables. So it took him 3 weeks to clear up his eczema the first time round, but then when we started the chewables again during lockdown, it only took him a week to clear his eczema up that time round. So we just literally fell in love with the products, and we've just been a lover of them since we've now been on them for 5 years. But I have got a picture of my transformation photo. So this used to be me in 2016. So this was me before I started, and then this was me 6 months later. So that is basically what the berry capsule's done for me. And my son is literally just cleared up now. He no longer suffers with his eczema. We used to use Cetraben or Latum, and nothing ever seemed to help us until we started the Healthy Starts for Families. So that is basically our journey in a nutshell.
Oh, Kirsty, you are just absolutely amazing. And your hair growth results are literally crazy. I remember because we took one of those photos at my house, and we were literally like, oh my God, look at the difference. So absolutely amazing. And Tyler's eczema results already as well. So go and have a little look over at Kirsty's page and see her incredible transformation posts as well. Thank you very much, Kirsty, not just for talking today, but you're sharing your amazing DMO with us too. We really appreciate it. Amazing. Okay, guys, that's enough for me. Otherwise, I'll just keep going because I don't really have an off button. I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Eliana Pelagi, which I probably said wrong, who is a national marketing director. She comes from Italy, and she moved to London when she was 23 to pursue a photography career. Before Juice Plus, she worked as a freelance photographer, and she currently lives in Tenerife with her husband, expanding her business and bringing in as many people to experience this beautiful lifestyle as possible. And Eliana is going to be speaking to us about getting someone off to a fast start.
Hi guys, can you hear me right?
Yes,
hi. So thank you for inviting me. It's always nice to share. I totally believe that if we share our, strength is power, uniting is power, proximity is power. So the main topic for today is getting someone to a fast track. So I will speak fast because I want to give you as many information as I can. So I hope you can get as many notes as you can. Otherwise you can watch the record, don't worry. So first of all, I just would like to mention that we can't bring someone to a first start if he's not really motivated. And that is a hard one, because sometimes we sign up someone and we're like, okay, oh my God, this guy is going to be amazing. This is going to be my best partner. And in reality, we soon realize that he doesn't have that motivation. So first of all, we just need to understand that we can take someone to a fast start only if he's really highly motivated. Okay, that's the first thing I would like to say. How we find out that? We give assignments. I give a lot of assignments at the beginning, and I kind of test the commitment, and I tell you how to do it. Another thing I learned over the years is to not overload people with information. When I started, I had I can remember, I think it was 40 pages startup file, we were teaching you everything, you kind of want to give a job with someone of your knowledge, and it doesn't work like that. I mean, maybe it can work for 2 people out of 100, but in reality, we need to feed the soil of people's brain slowly, okay? One seed today, one seed tomorrow, so we just need to understand that simplicity is the key. And it took me years to make my startup really simple, and I'm very happy of the results now because it's working. So the first thing I done is I took Eric Worre's recommendation, or he always says, if your startup is bigger than an A4 paper, you're doing it wrong. It's too big. And I was like, okay, how can I make my startup in A4? How can I make my startup in A4? So I thought, what are the essential things I need to make someone do today? And I made a PDF. Big as an A4, okay? So in Italy, because my biggest market is in Italy, we have subscription requirements. People need to fill some documents. So that's the first step. Otherwise, we cannot move any forward. So that's the first step. Then the second step is place your order. I recorded a tutorial on how you make your first order, because I think it's very important that people become independent from day zero. They don't need me. Okay, they don't need me. They have everything. So I want to give them all the tools. They can watch it. If they have any questions, of course, I'm there to help, but I'm not there to do that for them. Okay. So I have all of these instructions on how to place your first order. Then the third step is like write your why, because we know about how much is important, how much is the engine of our, the soil of our engine, okay? So what's your why, where you see yourself in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years, and then I will ask them to share with me in a call later. Then point number 4, it is like a list of your names. So you got like 20 names for who would you like to help thanks to the products, who would you like to help thanks to the business, 20 names. So I give this PDF and I wait for them to do it. You know, generally motivated people do it immediately, okay? Or at least in 24 hours. That's already giving me a good sign of who it really wants to do it. And people that take lots of time to do that, they're not really motivated, okay? So only once they finish all this PDF, we can get on a call. I don't do call earlier. I don't do calls if people don't buy products, because it's pointless. Okay, like I know how much is hard. The first step is something that we only have in Italy, so don't worry about it. It's a bureaucratic thing. We just need to fill up some documents. So we don't have it in UK, so don't worry. But I had to place it because it's important for us. So. And just to I want to make sure that people, when they do a call with me, they already place the order, because we need to get people on the products as soon as we can, because that gives you trust, belief, you feel the energy, you know, you already have your products coming, so you feel confident speaking to people. How would you feel if you speak to someone, oh, I want to recommend you this, and then you're like, oh, have you tried? No. You know, so we want to avoid that. So once they finish this PDF, we get on a call. The call is like very simple. It's about 15 minutes, maybe 20 max. It depends by the person. I ask them to share with me the why, you know, and I write it down. I have a list of all of my partners, and I'm writing down the why as well. It's going to come a day, as Sara said, that the business is going to drop. And that's the moment in which you remember to them why they're doing it. Okay, so in this call, I also ask 2 important questions, such as like, how much would you like to earn to make this business worth for you? And how many hours are you willing, or you can actually put into this business daily or weekly? I asked these 2 questions. I took this from Eric Worre, okay, guys, I haven't invented that. But I think it's very important to set the expectations, because maybe people think like, okay, I'm gonna earn 1,000 euros working 2 hours a week. No, that doesn't work at that. You're not going to get 1,000 euros working 2 hours a week. So I need to set the expectations. It's so important. Otherwise, you might get people really frustrated for that. So I also tell people that I'm here to support them, but I'm not here to motivate them, that the motivation comes from within them, you know. And I always make this very clear, because I'm like, I'm going to here for you, I'm going to support you, but you will need to find your motivation. So that's why we talk about the why and everything. So another thing I do in this call, I share my screen and I show to them my basic group. I have a very basic training group. It's very simple. And I show to them exactly where they need to look. We have units, you know, guides, they call now on Facebook. And we have something very basic, like the difference between cold market and warm market. But I just want people to understand that if they talk to the warm market, they're going to make faster, you know, they're going to get clients in a faster way. So we teach to people like a basic of attractive profile on social media. You know, we have a PDF that shows you exactly what to post on social media, what time, where, an example. Okay, so we can really put people on actions. We have a very small post that can tell you like how you write your story. We have 4 simple questions. It's like how you found about this project. Okay. Why did you start? What are the benefits you would like to see in yourself? You know, because we have people that are clients already, so they can already talk about their benefits. We have some people that start in the business and the products at the same time. So I think for these people, they can easily talk about other people's benefits and say, listen, I heard this story, I've seen this girl, I want to get exactly the same thing. Okay, so we are storytellers. Okay, we get paid to say stories, so just get as many stories as you can. And then the last point is like, where do you want to go with this business? This is so crucial. The vision is so sexy, you know, it attracts people. When you share your vision, your dreams, your desires, people are like, they're inspired. Okay, so we teach people how to do that, and then we help them to make the first post. The first post is essential because from the first post, often you get the first clients as well. Okay, so we teach people to write down the story, write down the first post, and then whoever comments or give a likes to this post, we're gonna do chats. But just bear in mind that we don't let people talk on their own. We help them. We do 3 chats, we support them. And I always say to the guys, like, guys, please, at the very beginning, if someone inquires you, just you ask me and I will there be set out the time and I will help you, but just don't speak on your own at the beginning, okay? Because you might burn them with your enthusiasm and fire, okay? Sometimes the fire can be too much when we don't know how to say things. Sometimes we overload people with information, we confuse them, and we push them away instead of attracting them to us. So very important, we say to people to do 3 chats, 3 chats, 3 chats. That's so important. So with the first post, people start like understanding the dynamic, you know, we write posts, people leave likes, we contact those people, we start conversations. Okay, that's the dynamic, you know. I want people to understand that posting means nothing if we don't have private conversations with people. It really means nothing. We cannot wait that people always start a private conversation with us. Most of the time it doesn't happen, especially the very beginning, you know. So we need to make people to understand that we go on Messenger and we start conversation with every single person. So of course, like showing Juice Plus on social media, it's so important. That's why we ask them to start with the products as soon as they can, so they can show their journey on social media. And that's so attractive as well. So we share lots of, like, we teach them how to share story, how to share themselves, because it's important, you know, otherwise people will feel so bored of seeing only Juice Plus, so that doesn't work. And we offer to do like live video with me or an upline, you know, in which they can interview us, so we can share our story on their profile. And here the thing is the same. We ask people to go and contact people that leave likes and leave comments, and we do 3 chats. I can say that doing 3 chats conversation, it really helped massively all our duplications. It went smoother since we're doing that. And we duplicate this, like with the newbies, we're gonna ask, okay, the first conversations, we just do it together. And that makes life so much easier. People are happier, they make the first clients. Eric Worre also says this thing, such as a bit scary, but he says that when someone sign up, it literally has a big countdown on his head, okay? And you literally have 1 week before this person start losing the motivation. 1 week. So he says, like, if we don't get our people to get a result in the first week, people start losing the faith. Such is crazy, you know. But within the first week, we should get them on actions, you know, do conversation. Doing conversations about business makes you feel like something is happening, you know. And then one thing that we really teach to people is the importance of numbers. If you want to get a client, you need to show the products at least to 10 people. We repeat this like a mantra, okay? Because the last thing we want is to get sad people that, oh my God, I can't get any clients. I always ask, how many people have you been talking to? Oh, 6. Okay, so talk to more people and you will see that some clients will pop up. Because this is all about doing follow-ups, isn't it? Like I always teach the guys to be really understanding that people need time, you know. Some of my partners took like 3 years to sign up, okay? 3 years. So imagine if you were waiting for that person to tell you, yeah, I'm ready, and you wait 3 years, you know what I mean? That's why, like, we talk to many people. Okay, you talk to someone today, I always see a person, a prospect, as a little seed, you know, and every day I'm going water it. Maybe not every day, maybe I'm going to water it every 2 weeks, you know, depending on if we have any events, and depend by the person, what it tells me. That's what I try to teach to my guys, you know, understanding and respecting people's time. It's like, it's up to them. We're doing this for them. We're going to carry on. You know, we're going to carry on. So you want to join us? Okay, that's not your time. Don't worry about it. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to give you information week by week. And if you get people to have between 3 to 5 conversations a day in the first week, trust me, they will get something moving. You know, they will get prospects, inquiry, understanding. And with the right follow-ups, you're going to close a client. It's all about follow-up. So that's what we teach to people. And also the importance of like how to do like self-development and actions at the same time, you know, like I heard this once in a training that it's like swimming, you know, if you only, let's suppose that your right arm is self-development. If you only do self-development, then what's happening? You're literally spinning in a circle, right? So if instead, like your left arm is like actions, you do only that, you spin in another circle. But if you do the two things like self-development, actions, you actually go straight, okay? So sorry, I missed the last question. Okay, so then that's the thing. We want to empower people and make them understand that it takes a bit of time. Okay, we can get you the results, but you need to do the things. But as I said at the very beginning, it doesn't work if people don't have motivation. You can do all of this, but if people are lacking motivation, trust me, nothing is going to happen. And we need to accept that. For that reason, we get many people in the business. I don't know how many people I sign up, but for sure over maybe about 200 now, you know, in my front lines in my career. And, you know, people come and go, people like, maybe they know their time now, that, you know, and we respect that. I think if we just respect that, if we take it easy, that this is our journey, we're gonna get to the people, you know, with or without them. I mean, they are needing us more than we need them. That's the reality. So when people understand that, you're just gonna enjoy it, you know, and it's gonna be a beautiful journey, and they're gonna have fun. And it's very important that we get them into the community also at the beginning, like joining our weekly Zoom, getting to know each other. We believe so much that the positive environment helps so much the community to grow. So this is pretty much everything that we do at the very beginning. Step by step, small knowledge. There's no need to overload people with information. So once people like made the first clients, the first partner, and we see they understand the dynamics, then it's the time to get into the big training area. We have a separate group with a bigger training area, and you find everything, okay? You want to know about clinical research, you want to know the doctor's speech about something, you find everything. But you don't need this stuff to do senior partner or partner plus. You don't need it. So I don't even want you to invest your time into that. I want you to invest your time into actions, because actions are what gives you results. So just to say that, I would like to give the word to one of my girls that is my team. She's not frontline to me. She's like a partner, like, how you say, second line, okay? Someone that started literally a few days ago. She started like 5 days ago. She became Partner Plus. She already signed up a first partner. James, are you gonna unmute? Can she unmute herself? Eleonora, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, she can unmute herself.
Great. So Eleonora literally started 5 days ago, okay? So she got like a Partner Plus, she signed up a partner. So she literally went through all of this process. So Ele, you wanna tell us like your story, how you pretty much started?
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. And I'm Eleonora from Italy. And I've started my journey as a franchise last week. Literally last week, Saturday was. I didn't even try the products before because I was sure this program could fit in my life and job, because I'm a rolfer, and for my job, I use structural integration and also functional integration as a method for my clients. And then I've started to read interesting posts on Facebook from Fabrizio Picchione, which is a friend of mine, also a colleague in structural integration. And he was sharing about nutrition and other tips they were really matching with something deep inside myself. And this is why and how I've met GS Plus and decided to jump in the team. even before then trying using the products. I wanted to use this possibility to have an additional tool for my clients, let's say, to increase them results, integration from inside, from outside, and finding wellness and more empowerment for themselves. So how did I start? Just following the steps. So it was very useful for me to listen to Eliana, because I'm still in the learning process. And in these days, I was just watching the PDF she was sending me and doing my homework, let's say. And when I had doubt, I could ask them, Fabrizio and Eliana, the two of them. And at the same time, the 3 chats. So it was a tool that I cannot live without, because I don't have proof in my life about products, but I had trust in Eliana. And so this was really helpful for me. Yes, I'm a Partner Plus. In 5 days, I registered my first client, and I'm feeling super comfortable because I have a structure to follow up. It's just trust the process and follow the steps.
And let me say, she has a great motivation. So it can only happen if you're motivated. So she came with a lot of enthusiasm. She's doing things that we're recommending her to do. So that's how she's getting there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Eliana.
Oh, thank you so much. And absolutely huge congratulations. Eleonora, was it? Sorry, I think I've got that right.
Yes.
Huge congratulations on your promotion, and 5 days in. What an incredible start to your business, and I wish you the best of success. And what a fantastic, well, not quite upline, but support that you've got with Eliana there. She's absolutely incredible. So Eliana, thank you so much as well for your amazing presentation. You know, we all got so much from that. And I just love that. Yeah, it's just simplicity is key. If you just overload people straight away, then they're just kind of, you know, they get overwhelmed and don't know what they're doing. So it's great that you've got this kind of, you know, short A4 version and getting people off to a great start. So absolutely fantastic. And Sara, also as well, we didn't even thank you. Thank you so much for your brilliant presentation. You always get me fired up with them, scribbling away all my goals and everything, even more after listening to you. So now we're getting even more fired up. We've got the most incredible Emma Snedden. So, you know, we're just we're really charging on with our Saturday morning here, because Emma is, everybody knows her, everybody loves her. She's absolutely incredible. She's a PMD in the business, and just listen to her story, because even though every time I introduce Emma, or every time I read like her story, I keep going, no, wait a minute, I must have got the figures wrong, because listen at this, right? So from Emma's words, I joined in March 2013, 39 Club in August 2013, 100 Club, January 2014, and as she said, that was a pretty crazy year. We can all vouch for that. Okay, so for the first time in my life, I'm doing something that matters, that makes a real difference in people's lives. I've been able to release myself and my husband from the chains of corporate life, provide our children with parents who are present properly in their lives every single day. And it's only just the beginning of our story. The most exciting part is our mission is to help people every day to create the same lifestyles for themselves. And if I can do it, they can do it. So Emma's going to be sharing with us today how to stay in line and keep your focus no matter what. Are you there, Emma?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
I'm so relieved because I've got a new microphone, and I thought probably should have tested it before going on a call.
Through this again.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, Paula. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is well. How exciting. It's convention month. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I always have been an event junkie. Like if there's, you know, I just love the small events, the big events, the medium events. The online events have been amazing, but guys, like, we are inches, centimeters away from the October convention in Harrogate, and I know that's not what I'm here to talk about, but I just want to take this opportunity to really encourage you to get your ticket and get along to that convention. They are life-changing, game-changing. If you've been to a convention before, guys, please just pop 2 lines in the chat about what they did for you, why you recommend it. I know some of you guys have been in the business for many years, have been to many conventions, and I remember Jeffrey Beatty, who is the highest income earner, longest serving, probably one of the longest serving along with James, members of the Juice Plus community, who always says that the conventions are the non-negotiable income producing activities. It is amazing to have a DMO. It is amazing to have activity that you do every day, but the biggest income producing activity that you'll do every year is get yourself to a big convention. It really, we don't say it, like we don't get any, it doesn't make any difference to me personally if each of you individually come along. I'm telling you this for you. Like, if you take nothing away else from the next 10 minutes of what I say, please trust that I'm saying this because I want this for you. Just do what you need to do. Say yes, buy your ticket, tell the world that you're going, figure the rest out later. Babysitters, childminders, travel, it will work out. You'll get there and think, don't know how I managed to pull that off, but I did, and you won't regret it. It's not just the presentations, it's not just, it's walking into that room, isn't it, guys, of just 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 people and just going, oh my God, like this is a huge thing. This isn't just me at my laptop. And I honestly think, I've been in this business, this is my 9th year. I honestly think that this convention is probably one of the most important ones that we have ever done in that time that I have been involved. Can't speak for before that, simply because I know from my own experience, I haven't seen any of my team since the Edinburgh conference in 2019. That was the last time I was with my team. That's the last time I was with the community. That's the last time I saw everybody. So it will have been pretty much 2 years since I've seen anybody, and I know it's probably similar for a lot of people. So, and some of you will have joined in that time, and I've only ever experienced the Juice Plus community through Zoom, which is great, and God, aren't we grateful for it? Don't know what we would have done without it, but it's time to get up from these seats. Put your, you don't have to have glad rags. You don't have to have a fancy dress for the Saturday night. Don't get drawn into worrying about all of that stuff. If you want to wear your jeans and a t-shirt on the Saturday night because that's all you've got, that's totally fine. You can do that. You don't have to worry about what you wear and what you look like, any of that stuff. Just be there. I'm not getting particularly dressed up. I haven't got time. I'm up to my eyes with stuff. I haven't got time to go shopping for fancy dresses. So whatever falls out the wardrobe is what I'll be on a Saturday. So come and find me and say, I wore what fell out of my wardrobe. But honestly, it's great if you can and great if you want to, but it's not the be all and end all. The most important thing is getting yourself there. So hope that helps you. If you haven't got your ticket, find the link, speak to your upline, say, where's the link? I need to get it booked, and just turn up and be there and experience the conversations in the toilet queue, the conversations in the coffee queue, the people that you might end up sharing a room with that you haven't met before, or the people that you meet at the bar in the hotel or on the train on the way down, or whatever it might be. It will just create fantastic feeling for you, and it literally, like a bit like the girls were talking about before about building that business through the winter months. This is like the rocket fuel that keeps your business going for the next 6 to 12 months, because you can talk about it. I was talking to my team actually earlier on this week, saying it's been really difficult, I think, to share the fun of what we do recently. It's been very difficult to show that it's not just a job. Like, we used to be able to say, oh, we can work from home. Well, everybody's working from home for the last couple of years. Oh, we've got a Zoom community. Well, everyone's now got a Zoom community. So how do we make ourselves stand out from everybody else who's working from home and all of that stuff? And the difference is the fun that we have, the choices that we make, that it's personal, that you can go on a Zoom if you want to and not if you don't. We don't have anybody breathing down your neck. But the fun side of what we do has been quite difficult to get across on social media. This conference will help you to do that. It'll help you to show the community, it'll help you show the team, the people, the fun, all of that. So make sure when you are there that you're putting it on your stories. Even if you've never used your stories before, just take some little videos, do some boomerangs, get a couple of photographs with people if you can, whatever. Just please understand that I'm saying this because I know you can come and find me on Monday and just go, oh, I went and it was rubbish. I've been saying that to people for years. No one's ever done that yet. No one's ever said to me, I went because you told me to go and it wasn't good. There are incredible. Plus, obviously, some fantastic speakers and all the recognition and just everything. They really, really got to. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to just see everybody, be with everybody. I know some people are nervous about being around people and all of that stuff. Me too, right? I live in Ireland. We're still quite not locked down completely, but a little bit more restricted here. So I'm quite nervous about that too. That's okay, right? It's okay. You don't have to hug anybody if you don't want to. You don't have to be sat like right on top of people if you don't want to. Find a way to do it. Find a way to make it work for you, your personal life. This, and this is what I'm going to talk about now for the next 5 or 6 minutes. This is your business. This right here, right now, as we sit here at the start of October, I think it's the 2nd of October today, this is your business, right? It's not, this is my business, my own franchise, but each of us individually, 175 of us on this call or watching the recording later, this here right now is your individual business. Yes, we're part of a team. Yes, we're part of a wider community. Yes, we're part of a global community, which is fantastic and unique and inspiring and motivating and exciting. And it's amazing to be part of that. But what you get paid on the 10th of October, that's your business. That's your franchise. That's your opportunity. That's your pot of money, pot of gold, end of the rainbow, whatever it might be, that's yours to build. So the fact that we get to do it in a fantastic environment is a bonus that we should all be taking advantage of. But at the end of the day, when the chips are down and the bills are coming in and your happiness is at stake, it's your business that matters. You know, people will come and go, products will come and go, lives will come and go, things will go on all around us, but you've got to just stay really, really aligned and focused with what you want to get out of this business, what you want to get out of it today, then what you want to get out of it this week, then what you want to get out of it the rest of this year, then what do you want to get out of it the next year. And when you're clear on those things, it's very simple to stay aligned and focused because you know what you want. You know what your end goals. I know that some of you will be running the London Marathon tomorrow, for example. So every time you've done a training run, every time you've got up when you didn't want to do it, every time you've run a bit more when you didn't want to do it, you've had a date in mind, a goal in mind, an end target in mind. That means that you have to do that extra run, you have to have that extra meal, you have to fuel the body, you have to go to bed earlier than maybe you wanted to, you have to maybe say no to the night out or whatever it might be, because you have a very clear end goal in mind. And exactly that, Cheryl, be very consistent. Your business is the same. This business is the same. The most important thing in terms of building your business is having some focus and being consistent, but being just totally relentless and committed and determined. Relentless and committed and determined. And write those words down and ask yourself every single day, am I being relentless in the pursuit of the goal that I want? Have I got personally in my own business unrivaled determination to achieve the end goal that I want to achieve? Am I doing everything that it takes for me? Now, I'm not saying that you have to work 24 hours a day in this business. I don't have a big long DMO like I think it was Sara showed before. I don't have one of them. I never had one of them. That would have scared the pants off me personally, right? And this is the beauty of this business, is we are all different. When I joined this business back in 2013, for those of you that don't know my story, I had 3 children, a full-time job. If John Holowatty had said to me, here's the list of all the things you need to do, I would have literally run as fast as possible in the other direction, because that would have scared me personally, because I didn't have any spare time. I couldn't fit a slice of bread extra into my day. There was nothing. So I needed to understand, and this might be sometimes when people are maybe saying no to you or aren't coming to you. If you make this look like it's incredibly time consuming, it puts people off because we are all so busy. But actually, we know that all of that stuff doesn't actually take up all of that much time if you do it well and you do it consistently and you know what you're doing. But what I always say to people is, even if on the days when you're not on your A game, it's better to have a B game than no game, right? Some days we just don't feel up to much. Some days things will happen in our lives. Life is going to go on around you always, no matter what, no matter whether you know, it's a fact of life. There's going to be challenges, there's going to be difficult times, there's going to be personal times, there's going to be all sorts of challenges that come along in your business life. If you stay in this business for years, like I hope that you will do, of course that's going to happen, right? That's life. But when you've got a very clear goal in mind, the day goal, the week goal, the month goal, the year goal, the full goal, those things will come and go around you. But you will be the rock in the river around that. If you think of like a fast flowing river, I want you to think of yourself as the anchor, the rock in the middle of that river all the time. So when things go a bit peak-tongue, a bit upside down, a bit difficult, that you are really stationary in that river in terms of your mentality, in terms of your mindset. So all of this stuff will go on around you, but you are really like a rock in the river always, that you're solid, that you're committed, that you're consistent, that you're determined, that you know that no matter what happens, you're going to do what you said you were going to do that day. Because if you don't, here's what happens. Little things start to get in the way, don't they? Like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't really want to make that prospect call today. Or I'll do it tomorrow. I don't really want to follow up with that person. I'm a bit nervous about what they're going to say. So I'll do it tomorrow. I don't really want to go to the gym today. I'm not really feeling it. I'll go tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and the kids are off school or something happens. And then also, it doesn't matter. I'll do it. And before you know it, it's next week, isn't it? And you're like, oh, still haven't done that thing, still haven't paid that bill, still haven't been to the gym, still haven't made that call, still haven't put that post on, still haven't replied to that person who asked about prices. Oh my God. And then it becomes, those little things become habits. So instead of having a habit of relentless execution and a habit of determination, you have a habit of putting it off, and a habit of waiting until tomorrow, and a habit of not actually getting it done. And when you let your feelings sabotage your actions, which is what that is, when you're putting things off, it's because you're letting your feelings or your situations sabotage your actions. That becomes the habit that you replicate all the time, and that becomes the thing that holds you back in your business all the time, because manana becomes the habit that you have, rather than like, I'm just going to get it done before you go to bed, I'm just going to get this thing executed before I go to bed. So I really want you to, I can't imagine living an unfulfilled life. Can you? Like, I can't imagine. I don't want to get to the end of my life and feel like I didn't fulfill myself. You've probably heard me say this before if you've been on these calls before. Stop trying to find work-life balance or life balance. It doesn't exist. I don't think I do. We're not designed to live a life that's just balanced. It's boring, right? And it's also not achievable. You've got, because of all the things that are going on, that river that is flowing around you. Seek happiness, seek fulfillment, seek achievement, seek adding value, seek to, to do something that matters. That's what Paula said in the introduction. Doing something that matters with this business is that, I don't know where else you can do that apart from probably parenting, where we do that every day. But in this business, you get to make a difference in the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, most of whom, by the way, you'll never even meet. You'll never come across them. You probably won't even know that that post that you did had an impact on somebody who shared it with somebody who had a better life because of it. You will have an impact on the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, most of whom you'll never even meet. Where else are you going to get to do that? So it's our responsibility to ourselves, not to the world. We can't be responsible for the world, right? But we can be responsible for how we show up in the world, how determined we are, how focused we are, the things that we want to do. I think I've got like maybe 2 minutes left, Paula or Sarah. I think, let me just hold me up how many fingers I've got left. I don't want to keep you from Simon Bowler. I'm sure he's probably got like a slot of a window that he can exactly do, but I'm not sure what time he's due on. So just somebody let me know. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk about was really quickly give you a couple of things about how to stay focused, because it's easy to say sometimes, but how do we do it? So really quickly, I'll wrap up with some things that I use that really help me about how to stay focused. So I talked a little bit about having the end game in mind, the end goal in mind. Any of you who are into sport, into health, into fitness, or have ever done like an activity like that, you'll know you have a date when you do the marathon, a date when you do the Great North Run, a date when you have a wedding that you want to get in shape for, or whatever it might be. With this business, set yourself a date of what do you want to achieve this week, the short-term goal. What do you want to achieve this month? But then I would really, to tap into what one of the girls was talking about earlier, I think it was Sara, what do you want to achieve next year? What do you want 2022 to look like? Because we have new products coming, which you'll find out about at Harrogate, right? So one of the things that absolutely boosts your business, right? We've had a great growth in 2020. That's fabulous, but that's gone now. We can all look back at that and go, oh, that was amazing, but it's done now. So what's the next thing? The next thing is 2022, new products coming, hopefully Tower Carden coming as well. There is some fantastic stuff, but you've got to get ready for it now. There's no point sitting on your backside until January. You want to be ready to hit the ground running, talking to people, sharing stuff, getting everybody aligned, having hundreds of people that you can share it with when it comes out. Have those conversations now. Build your team now. If you want to get to QNMD or NMD in 2022, how many PB legs do you need? How many team members do you need? Where are they going to come from? All of the stuff you've heard up to now, put it into place. Don't just sit and take notes and never look at them again. Put your stuff in, get yourself ready, be at the front of the queue so that when the new products come and we have this business spike again, which I'm telling you is coming, when that business spike comes again, you need to be ready. You don't want to be the person who goes, oh, I missed that again. That business spike came and went and I missed it, right? Be ready, set yourself up, get ready for success. So have that goal in mind and be clear that every day that you do that you said you were going to do, you're closer to the activity. I always have this kind of, if I don't do what I said I'm going to do, I go backwards, and I don't ever want to go backwards. So my brain just goes, if you don't do that, you're going to be a day further away from achieving the thing that you wanted to do. So always making sure I do that. Be your own biggest fan, right? Love yourself. Love your business, love your product, love yourself, love your business. You want to be rocking up in people's inboxes with this fantastic opportunity to join the team, fantastic opportunity to get yourself healthy. Be really confident about your ability to help somebody, your ability to create that end goal for yourself, your business, what you get paid every month, but we're helping other people to do the same thing. Be your own biggest fan. Talk about what you're doing, talk about it, share it, and be really, really loud and proud about what we're offering people. What we do, what we are, what we're about is absolutely amazing. There's nothing else like it on the planet that isn't, but you've got to show up feeling like that, sharing that with people. When you do that, if you rock up in my inbox, I want to join your team. Do you ever get on a call, you're already in the business, do you think, oh, I want to join again, I want to join again? That's because that person has inspired you. Motivation doesn't last, inspiration lasts forever, right? So you've got to don't just get inspired, find your way to be inspiring and be your own biggest fan. Third thing of 4, I want to ask you a question. Are you okay with letting yourself down all the time? Are you all right with that? Because I'm not. Doesn't mean I've never let myself down. Doesn't mean I haven't made myself proud sometimes. I haven't always had an A game, but I always have a B game. And when it's done once, you don't want to do it again. So don't let yourself down. I look at my kids, and they're much bigger now than they were when I started this business, and I look at them and I think, I want to be able to say to you guys, you can have anything, you can go anywhere, you can create any life you want. I want to be able to say that. What I don't want is 5 years from now when Molly's 18 to go, do you know what, you could have had everything you wanted, you could have traveled the world, you could have had anything, but I just couldn't really be bothered to do what it took to create that for you. I couldn't really be bothered to make that call. I was too scared, I was too lazy, I was too distracted, I had too much going on. I hear it all the time. I've got a lot on. Big deal. So have I. That's the fact. We've all got, no one's sitting around with nothing going on in their lives. Of course, you've got a lot going on. The beauty of this business is this will fit around what you've got going on. Whatever it is, people have a lot going on, but you're focused on your goal. That's okay. Have a lot going on, but have this going on as well. And it will reward you for it, because you still have bills to pay, you still have a life to lead, you still have stuff you need to do. And the final one for me is set yourself up for success. Know what you're going to do every day. Go to bed knowing that you did the things that you said you were going to do. Even if that is just one thing, right? Even if the really difficult times and your B game turns into your C game, it's still better than no game, right? So even in the really, no matter what, challenging times, the really difficult emotional times, the really difficult family times, set yourself up for success. What is the one thing that you're going to do that day that's going to take you closer to your goal? Because you'll still go to bed feeling fulfilled, you'll go to bed feeling happier, you'll go to bed knowing that you've moved yourself closer. It might be just speaking to one new person, it might be just posting on your social media, it might be just showing up on a team call, I don't know. But find a way to set yourself up for success, because all I know is I wanted this when I saw it. As a 36-year-old busy working mum with no time freedom, I wanted this. I didn't even really know what it was. I didn't really know how to do it, but I knew that I wanted it. And you know what? I still want it. Nearly 10 years on, 9-10 years on, I want this every single day. I want this. I want it for you. I want it for me. I want it for me. And that's okay, by the way. I want this. I want the future. I want the security. I want the financial freedom. I want to be able to do everything I want to do when I want to do it with people that I actually like. I want this. And when you want this, let me tell you guys, you've already got it. You've got it. It's here right now. You've got it in the palm of your hand. If you want it, just go get it. It's all there for you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Emma, I always feel like when you finish speaking, I just think to be like, she's done it again. Done it again. Absolutely amazing. I could listen to you all day. And I actually, when I'm feeling a bit demotivated, I get the recordings of these calls and watch you back when I'm having a bit of a tough morning. But just two of my top things that I took away from what you said, which I really liked. If I don't do what I said I was going to do, I'm going backwards, which I really, really like, because I can be terrible for that. And also, are you okay with letting yourself down, which I really, really loved. And I love it. It's true. It's so, so true, because I'm definitely not. So thank you so, so much. And you look absolutely amazing. And congratulations as well. For anyone who doesn't know, Emma's just done 10K a day every day throughout the whole of September. And she looks incredible.
Thank you. It was hard.
You're literally like a machine. Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So last but not least, we have got Mr. Juice Plus himself, which is Mr. Simon Bowler. Simon initially started as a partner in the field with the Juice Plus company in May 1990, which is 31 years ago. As the company expanded into Europe, he travelled lots, living in Holland, Belgium and France. And in 1996, he was invited to join the JP corporate team. After 8 months period living in Holland, he became the general manager for Juice Plus in the UK, based in Maidenhead, and 1 year later he was promoted to regional sales director. In May 2017, he became the vice president of the EMEA sales and was responsible for supporting sales activities in the 16 EMEA countries. More recently, in the 1st of May 2020, he was promoted to the vice president of the global partner relations, where he plays an important role in helping regional sales directors and managers in their regions around the globe. And he helps deliver the company mission, values and vision for the future as he travels around the Juice Plus world. Anyone who follows Simon's page can see that he's just a jet setter. He's just literally always flying all over the place. He lives in Berkshire near the Queen and is married and has 2 healthy Juice Plus teenagers, Volker and Jade. And he is going to be talking to us about what it takes to get to the top.
Amazing. Great to see everybody today, by the way. If I've got plumes of sweat coming down me, it's because I've just jumped out the shower after a rigorous rowing session on the Thames today, getting organised some races next month. But yeah, good to see everybody. And it's a great time of year. And by the way, congratulations to those new people jumping on. And I've got to say hi to some friends on here as well. Gift, Favour, good to see you guys. Torsten, Damien, Marion, Nikki, Howard, Sara, Paula, Eliana, Alice, Santa, Sean, Maxine. Just a few faces that I've seen. In fact, not everybody's got the camera on today. So this is the first thing I'm going to do is commitment on a Zoom is to show your face, right? Even if you're in the pajamas. Ladies, even if you've got no makeup on, if you're sitting on the toilet, whatever it is, listen, we want to see your face this morning. And I'm just going to give a shout out to James Sanderson for putting these events together over the past, I don't know how long. I'm going to give him a big clap because that is taking leadership, guys, right? Our business is all about going out and taking leadership, doing those things that other people just don't want to do. Which Emma was talking about. And by the way, I don't need to talk after Emma, really, do I? I mean, Emma really says it all. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people going, yeah, you're right. Hard act to follow. But James putting these events on, it's fantastic. You know, our business is really, it's all about community. It's about people. And that's why I am with this company after 31 glorious years. I really am. Just love the people that we have in this business. Second to none. So I'm talking a little bit about, I mean, Emma's gone through a lot of these things already, so I'm going to put my own sort of spin on this, I guess, really, in terms of what you need to do, not just to become successful in our business, but I'd say to be successful in life. You know, I think we all want to be successful in our own ways so that we can look in the mirror and go, yeah, do you know what? Actually, I did bloody good. Did really good in my life, actually. I went out there, had a tough upbringing, things were going against me, but you know what? I came out the other end for me and my family, and we did good, and we had a great life, right? And that's, I think, that's what we all want. As we know, things don't always go the way we want them to. That's just the way things is. But what we can do is, I put this on a post the other day, it's about the economy at the moment. The economy is sort of going into a bit of a spin. There's a few negatives out there. Everyone's queuing for petrol 10 hours a day. Not me, by the way. But lots of negatives, of course, but what we can control is our own family microeconomy with Juice Plus. That's one thing we can take charge of. So that will be my message number one today, is take charge of your own economy, because you can do that. You really, truly can. Now, our business itself, listen, it's not difficult in many ways. It's a very, very simple business, but it's not easy. Why is it not easy? Yes, Nikki's putting her head down. You're dealing with people, right? People are going to let you down, unfortunately. They're going to say things, right, but they're not going to come through and deliver. You're going to have to deal with that one there. Now, the number one important part is, by the way, is looking in the mirror to make sure that you do not let yourself down. And unfortunately, most people do. So what you've got to do is, and our business is all about consistency. And if you look at and read all the books, biographies on successful people, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, they've got unbelievable consistency, and they've got unbelievable work ethic. And work ethic will beat any lazy talent, hands down, when talent becomes lazy, right? And there's a lot of lazy people in the world today, but they've got unbelievable talent, unbelievable. And I've seen, I'm sure Nikki has, and James, like some unbelievable come in this business. People come in and you go, wow, they're going to be amazing. But you know what? They just do not apply themselves. So number one is, Simon says today, you've got to apply yourselves, and you've got to look in the mirror, and you've got to be able to say to yourself, I will do those things that I said I was going to do long after the mood left me when I said it in. And I'm telling you this now, a lot of people are going to Harrogate in a couple of weeks. Can't wait, by the way, for the convention. It's going to be amazing, isn't it? But what I'm going to say is, it's easy to sit down in a big auditorium when you've got 2,000 people, when you feel like Superwoman or Superman, you can rip your shirt off and fly home, right? When you've got all that energy from the stage and everything, great. You can feel kick-ass and you can take on the world. But then life sort of takes over, doesn't it? You know, you go out and you talk to people and you get slapped around the face a little bit, and they wear you down. And then all of a sudden, you do not start delivering on those things you said you were going to do. So number one is, I want you to hold that commitment there today. Simon says, I will be checking up on you, okay? The next challenge is, one negotiable in this business is you've got to become a product of the product. You need to take the whole range of Juice Plus products day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. Why? Number one is you've got to become a very good ambassador for the Juice Plus company. And ladies and gents, we are in the what? We're in the health business. Yeah. So what you've got to do is you've got to work on you. And the great competitor that you are dealing with is you, not the person left, not the person right, not the person on Instagram or Facebook. You are your own competition. So what you might need to do is you might, after the summer months where we've all been lazing around, maybe on a sun lounger, cocktail in one hand, I don't know what in the other hand, where we put an extra few kilos on, right? Which is okay, but we might just need to step up where we get that little bit of a Juice Plus glow back on our faces when people go, Nikki, God, you look absolutely amazing. God, I want some of what have you got, right? And people can't get that from the chemist on the third shelf, as we know, right? That's the great thing we've got with Juice Plus, is we've got this ticket to health where we can get people on the right track, drinking some more water, going to the gym, taking the stairs rather than the lift, walking to the shops rather than taking the car, doing all those things where people become healthy and get that zest for life again, where they can go and do some amazing things with a life. And you know what it's like. If you've not been so well in your life, you will know when the energy is sucked from your body that actually it's the root and the flower of life. If you haven't got energy, none of us are going anywhere quick, right? And people just take the health for granted, of course, until they lose it. So you have the amazing, amazing ticket with Juice Plus, and I've heard some doctors in this business to say that you have more power than a general practitioner. Think about that one. You are the Mother Teresa in our business, where you can just pop out a few ripples, starts with 1, goes to 2, goes to 3, and before you know it, with your network, like Emma says, you are affecting thousands and thousands of people for the better. Unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, what I want to talk about today is, I haven't got long really, is got a few challenges for you as we get into these months. I forget how many days it is now, but it must be less than 100 days to Christmas. Can't believe that I'm talking about that one. But anyway, few challenges for you to go away. Number one is, I want you to start working harder on yourself than you've ever done before. Another thing Simon says today. So that is a challenge. Can you do that? Right? And can you do this for a concerted effort, a period of time where you can look on yourself at Christmas or in the new year and you go, actually, yeah, I remember being on that Zoom and Simon saying that, actually, I've been kick-ass. I'm proud of myself, right? I really am. I stepped up. Can you do that? Give me a thumbs up. Come on. Yeah, there's a thumbs up. Come on, where's your thumbs up, Eliana? Yeah, you're always doing that. Okay, next one is, I want you to become the person that you want to become. What is that type of person that you aspire to, right? And we all need these mentors in life, right? The people that we look up to. Mine was Shay O'Brien at the time, right? He's still a good friend of mine in the business, right? Shay's been a great mentor to me in many ways, for me and my family. You need to get that mentor, somebody where you can look up to and you can get that stretch, that daily stretch each day, where you're becoming that bigger, independent, successful person in life. And when you know what, it feels amazing when you're going through that as well. Does it hurt a little bit? Yeah, it's like, oh, ow, 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 ow. Why? Because you're out your comfort zone. That's normal. But when you look back, you say, that comfort zone was my uncomfortable zone. That's where I was not growing. I was not getting that personal growth. Next one is, be the person that gets things done. Now, I know Nikki Tolson. Nikki's a great person at getting things done, right? She's amazing. Ticking the box, tick, 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 tick. End of the day, bam, I've done all those things there. So get prepared. Don't just let life take over like a lot of people, where they sit down and watch Netflix and watch this and watch that. And then before they know, oh, by God, the day's gone, right? And this is your life, right? What we have all got the same of is what? 24 hours in a day, right? I've got the same time as Elon Musk and Richard Branson. So have you as well. So do not waste your life away where you end up on the gravestone with, I actually wish I applied myself with my life a little bit more. So the next one is, be a person that mentors their team, right? So aspire to be a great leader where people look up to you and go, actually, I want to be like James Sanderson. Why? He is amazing. What a great leader, been in the business, I don't know, 30 plus years, being so consistent. I want to be like James, right? So be that leader that your team look up to, and you be proud of yourself and say, yes, I hold myself with very, very high standards in the Juice Plus business. Then the next thing is, be that person that builds great relationships. Now, not Eliana with her team. She's got unbelievable, right, rock solid relationships with her team. And she's had a few moments of, where things not gone right, a few people left in the business, a few wobbles here and there. But you know what? She's built those deep rooted relationships. So when something comes, people they're solid as a rock, because they're there because you actually built that amazing sort of relationship and group of people around you. So that's another thing to go to work on. And then I want you to be the person that always stays in. This is what Jeffrey Birdie says, right? 34 years in the business, highest income earner in the network marketing history ever, and he's in our company. Be the person that always stays in production mode. What does production mode mean, right? There's three things that make money in our business. What are they? Number one is sharing the products. Number two is sharing the opportunity. Number three is putting on and promoting events just like this one here. Who's going to Harrogate? Put your hand up. Right? There's a few of you who would not have bought Harrogate tickets. Guess what? If you've not bought a ticket, you're not going to Harrogate. You need to be going to Harrogate. Why? Because you need to get a bigger vision. You need to feel that new Juice Plus buzz again. If you can't afford to go to Harrogate, get the money off somebody that can borrow it to you, right? That's it. If you do not enjoy Harrogate, right, and you said, you know what, Simon, you told me to go and it was absolute rubbish, I personally will give you your money back. How's that? 100% money back, Simon says. Next one is, I'm just closing on this one. This is your opportunity, I do believe, right now to create a whole new economy for yourself, which I talked about early on. Why is that? Number one, people have just come off furlough pretty much around Europe now. European governments have been strong and supported people, given them, you know, a lot of money, 80% of their salary, they've come off it. There's people that have found out this week they no longer have a job with their company. And you know what? They're frightened. They've got no money and they need to pay bills just like you and I. And they're looking for opportunities. And you know what? There's some really top quality, well-educated people that actually before Corona would not have been looking around for an opportunity, right? And listen, you need to tell them, you are the messenger. Whether they get involved or not is entirely up to them, right? That you're not in control of that one, but you are the messenger, right? So you need to have your radar, your Juice Plus radar up. So when you're shopping and somebody mentions, oh, you know, I lost my job, actually, yeah, it's pretty rough, actually. My family are in a bad state at the moment. You can give them that little bit of message and say, hey, by the way, I overheard you might be interested, or you might know somebody, right? We've got to start approaching more people. They might say no, but you know what? It's not going to hurt you, right? It's not a slap across the face. It's a no, right? And sometimes it means not now. That's it. You've got to take that on board. Next one is, I want you to set yourself some new Juice Plus goals as of today. Revisit your vision board. Sometimes vision boards get old. You've moved on, but your vision board's still the same. So you might need to look in a few new magazines, right, and find out, okay, great. Actually, I want to take my grandparents to the Maldives, right? They're getting on a bit now, actually, but never afforded a nice holiday. I want to do something special for them. And by the way, that is an amazing, amazing feeling, right? I think something money can't really buy, that feeling. So next one is, I want you to become a master of what you can do in your business. Now, I put something up on Reels earlier on a couple of days ago, is I do believe that we've all got what I call our own superpower. What does that mean? Now, for you, you might be just very, very good at sponsoring, but you're not so good at acquiring customers, right? You might be good at acquiring customers, but you're not good at sponsoring. It doesn't matter. So what I'm saying to you here, work on your strengths. If you're not good at sponsoring, get some people in your business that are good at sponsoring, right? That's just the way life is. But I want you to work on your strengths, not on your weaknesses. I think a lot of people do that, right? And don't get through life really giving themselves a good chance. Next one is, I want you between now and Christmas, and Roberti will be saying this if he was on now, is to take out all-out massive action. All-out massive action, what is it going to do? It's going to bring you in massive results, right? Simple as that. It might just be action, it's going to bring you in some results. All-out massive action brings you in massive results. So what do you want, right? You want massive results, doesn't it? So you've got to go to work like never before when you can look back at Christmas and say, that was unbelievable. God, I was a Speedy Gonzales. I was going everywhere, ticking these lists off like Nikki Tolson, right? And I got amazing results, unbelievable. And I've got a big bonus check for Christmas. Woo-hoo-hoo! Fantastic. You can do that, right? You have the power to make it happen. But you know what? You've got to flick the switch. Next one is, I want you today to make a decision on when you are going to hit the next position. Okay, now take this one into account. After the Corona year, there's a lot of people popped up multiple positions. Now, you might be sitting as an NMD, but you've got SSC volume. That doesn't matter, right? You don't need to shame yourself and tell anybody either at the same time, but you need to get yourself back to what? QNMD volume. Then you need to get your NMD volume back. But you've got to make a decision when you are going to hit that next position, and your subconscious is going to go to town on it and take some action. And then to finish off, really, where am I on this one? Jim Rohn, I look at Jim Rohn's stuff all the time because he was an amazing guy in our industry. He's no longer with us now, but I would certainly suggest you look at some of his books and tapes or podcasts. And as I'm always reading his stuff because there's some real golden nuggets there specific for our industry. And he says, if you want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, obviously you will go what? You're going to find an excuse. It's as simple as that. But I've got something I read out here when I was at the QNMD or the NMD get together the other weeks with Sara, who was doing some amazing training. And it says this one. It says, let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in somebody else's hands. But guys, not you. Because you are taking control of your own future with this amazing business we have with the Juice Plus company. Thanks a lot today anyway. James, thank you for having me. Great to see everybody. And by the way, if you've not bought your ticket for Harrogate, Simon says right now, get it booked. It will be a sold out event. And by the way, it's going to have 10 times the power of what a normal convention has, because that getting back together with people and everything that goes along with it, it is going to be hugely, hugely powerful. It really is. Thanks a lot, James. I don't know who's hosting, but back over to our host.
Thank you so much, Simon. That's absolutely amazing. And I always say a few words from Simon Bowler and you just feel like you're ready to go and take on the world and that you're going to smash your next promotion. So thank you so much. You're amazing as always. And I definitely feel like today's call has been a bit like a mini convention. I'm feeling massively pumped up. We've had these incredible speakers, finished with Emma and Simon. What else could we ask for? So it's been a huge kick up the bum. I definitely needed it and I'm feeling ready for the month ahead. And as we said earlier, we've got 3 months left of 2021. As Emma Snedden said, are you okay with letting yourself down? What promotion are you going for in 2022? What promotion are you going for in January? And are you ready to put in the work for the next 3 months, no matter what comes your way and no matter what gets in your way, so that you are prepared for the next spike when it comes? And as we said, the people that get to work for the next 3 months, regardless of whether you are seeing those immediate results or not, are going to be the ones who reap the benefits in the new year when their business absolutely booms. So good luck to everybody. Good luck this month. 90 days left of 2021. Let's make every single one count. Thank you to all of our amazing speakers today. Thank you, Paula, for co-hosting. And thank you again, James, for arranging another amazing call. We'll see you again next month. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great weekend.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm going to sleep. It's night time.
Bye.